I am not sure what time it is, but it is past midnight. The last ceremony is about to take place. We've been waiting for a while for it to start. The healers, Avokoko, there's quite a few of them. They are inside in Dumbeni. They've been singing for most of the night. You can hear them, but you can't see them inside. This ceremony is dedicated to the way of the water. I think they're about to come out. You can feel the temperature drop. You can feel it at the back of your neck. There's a thick fog that has surrounded the village. It feels like the world outside has vanished beyond the fog. Or maybe we have. The drums sound like bubbling water. The sound surrounds you, almost swallows you. I can't help but imagine, what if we have crossed over into the water, past time, past place, past borders, hearts, land, spirit. Being in the village has been a mind-boggling experience. I mean, I came here with the intention of trying to understand spirituality in relation to March and March, but once you get here, you realize that is your issue. This is my issue, our issue as the people who have come to the village. My intention was to speak to people about March and March, but the people here, March and March is not their issue. These are people in a small, remote village that has no network. these are people who are just trying to survive. What am I going to ask them? Have you ever had someone ask you questions about an issue when that issue is actually their issue and not yours? That's literally what I feel like. So the conversations that I'm going to share with you are going to be conversations that we as people who have come to the village are reflecting on. Because this experience is strange to us, it's new to us, but it's not new or strange to the people who are from here. So I'd like to invite you. These conversations are going to be more of a meditation than interviews. It's going to be more about contemplating our place here than trying to interrogate the people who live here. Well, yesterday I counted roughly that there are about 100 people here.
Yeah, roughly.
Roughly 100 people here. And you are literally the center, the glue holding everyone together here, by virtue of the fact that you are actually the only person who can speak Shona and South African languages fluently. What has that meant for you? That the role that you have been placed in during this time?
Yo, that question is so vast, hey?
Yes, it is.
I was saying that question is so vast, and so also when he walked in, it also made me think about the fact that I can't speak as a Petizela, because also at the same time my voice is not the loudest. And so it even adds to the vastness of, the role that I am playing in this space. But what does it mean for me personally is tricky, because it's something that I just found myself in without particularly thinking about it or even seeing the difference. It's almost like just an automatic switch. And part of me also brings it back to my upbringing, ukuthi ukuphilisana nabantu, like Malume Tsepo said earlier, he's considered privileged. I also come from a similar background myself, where privileged in both ways, privileged in the number of people that I'm exposed to in my family, which is different languages, different areas and spaces, but also privileged in terms of having access to travel and experience different countries, different provinces. And I feel like that has enabled me to play the role that I'm playing. Part of that. And so it's a homely feeling, actually. It does not feel to me like a duty. It does not strain me in any way. instead it makes me feel like exactly what I am, an African. And so, which is also part of what I struggle with when people ask for Uyini, what are you, what's your lineage and whatever, and then I have to explain, okay, I'm Betty, I'm whatever. But my personal answer is I'm an African. I don't particularly like to categorize myself as this or that, because, and funny enough, I would have that response prior to being able to speak the many languages that I do, and having the experience of being able to be the center in such a big space that carries so many people. And so just being a human being, just a simple human being that sees the other being, all the different beings. Even in where we are here, the Shona dialects are many. It is not just one. And because you are that, person who is interacting with all of them, every one of them thinks you speak all their dialects, and they're so happy. And that there's this young lady who is able to engage with us so beautifully, and it's fascinating for them to see and experience. And so everyone wants to actually talk to you, firstly to see that really, can you actually do it, number one, or is this like a lie, or what's happening? I heard that lady say you can speak Shona and you're South African. And so it's just interesting, but also very heartwarming to be able to hold that space and to actually just show Singabantu, we're just human beings. And all these different categories of, races, nationalities actually do not exist. I truly believe they do not exist as an African when I see another African.
What has been challenging during this time of being here?
It's tricky because I can say that it's a challenge, but at the same time it doesn't feel like a challenge, like I said earlier on. But it's everyone wanting a piece of you. Not because there's something specific that they actually want to say or need to say, but just because they want to have that interaction with another human being that understands them, even though they don't come from the same place as them. And being able to marry, the two worlds, the two countries. And so for them and for myself, it then becomes universal. It just becomes like we really are one being. We are all from the universe. We are all from one source. There is literally no difference between all of us. And hence I say it's a challenge because I have to give a piece of myself, even to the little children that are fascinated by this sister, this auntie, who can talk to me and play with me in my own language, but she does not look like the people around me. So
what has been, because none of us can understand Shona properly, so we don't know what the people's sentiment actually is about us being here and what's happening in South Africa. What have you heard? How are people actually feeling about, one, what's happening in South Africa, and two, about us being here? Be honest.
I'm going to be very honest. It could also be tricky because maybe it's because they just love having the experience of talking to me as a South African.
Yeah.
So it might be biased, but generally my interaction with the people that I've had the topic with about what's happening in South Africa and the fact that we are here has been very contradictory to what is happening in South Africa. They're happy, genuinely happy to have us here. And so it can be confusing because they understand or their children are being chased away. Some of them we've seen they're being killed and all the things that we've seen on media. But for them, the warmth rather that I feel when I converse with them about what is happening with their children in South Africa and much business. But at the same time, you can also feel they are crying for their children because they understand our children actually need to be there because they're struggling when they're here. So we don't understand why you people don't want us because Tina, we don't have a problem with you. We actually love you and want to be one with you. So you can feel the contrast between the two, things that are happening inside of them when you talk to them about the whole issue. So they love us, they are warm towards us, and I think even everyone else that's here can attest to how they've been treated. We've had a very lovely experience being here. They've treated us with much kindness. They've served us whilst we are chasing their children away. They've truly served us. There's nothing that we lacked, and they went beyond, in fact, what they actually have. They wanted to make sure these people are coming from, these fabulous places, so we can't just give them pap and morogo every day. So they would go the extra mile to make sure we get the best, whilst on the other side, Tina, we are chasing their children away. Do you understand? So for me, that shows exactly how they feel about us and how they're doing a dance between everything that's happening. But here they have to deal with us as human beings because that's what they see us as, not as those South Africans who are oppressing our children and chasing our children away.
And I think it's that shame and because knowing how welcoming they are and having to still deal with Maluma, you were speaking about privilege earlier on, still with dealing with the privilege of having a South African passport where we can get like our little fast track through the queues of throngs of people that we've been chasing away, Rona ourselves. I think maybe the shame also was an understanding for whether we're going to be welcomed so wholeheartedly. And in we still have that privilege that, we can just swift through, check in. I want to go to the airport, they fast check in, whatever they're called. Yeah. King, priority boarding. Yes. Nere priority boarding go bordering. Ya batho ban re ba kobelang gai. Ba ne ba tletse mo. Mare we still had the privilege. So it's almost like re makgowa.
South Africans are the Americans of Africa.
I think I can to add on to that and to get into the question that I asked everyone is that my moment here, the moment that captured everything about here was last night when in the tent there were about almost 20 healers in one group dancing to the same beat. A lot of them from different places. There was a person from Lesotho, South Africa, Zimbabwe, and I understand Mozambique, some of them. And them in this strange, interesting synergy that they were all dancing to the one thing. But the thing that hit me about the moment is that all these people, there was about 100 people here last night. thinking that all these people are here for this one South African to hold space for this people literally from different countries who we as South Africans are in conflict with, left their lives to come hold space for days on end for one person. For me, that was the moment that literally got me emotional, to say. I almost didn't have words for it, to say it. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing exactly? What's the plan? And it's a question that I think I'll be wrestling with for some time, and maybe part of why I'm doing this is I'm trying to understand actually what is it, what's the plan. But I don't know if anyone wants to share what was your moment for this weekend where you sat and can start with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Total with me, the moment started when I left Botswana, because I always try by all means to be on my own journey. At the same time, when I live the life that everybody else is living. So I got invited. I was excited. I was worried about the unrest and all that, but I still left because I just wanted to get here. I had never been to Zimbabwe. I think I only came in like once in 2010, but it was just on the periphery of the border. So this time around, it's a bit deeper. It's isolated. I just wanted to get away, just to go see, what's out there in Zim, support Tatu at the same time. You can't get more than that. So it's been really lovely because I'm also in a journey trying to learn myself. Yeah, I don't know myself, so I'm trying to find myself as well. So I think it's all in the same line. Yeah.
I think the first was definitely coming to a space, knowing that one of my passions is documentation. And what I wanted to offer Gogo was a documentation of this time. To be like, yo, man, I know there are moments you might miss because when you know, but here's a folder with everything. Just look back and see what was going on. And it was interesting to find out how little of that could happen. So I'll go ahead.
I don't feel special.
You get here for real, bro. No, like got here. They explained to Coco, but I know to camera, what Coco is sharp, and then everywhere she's just like no camera, no phone. Yeah, I got chance. And I think my moment was really realizing that I came here on that mission, but I found a mother. In the sense that I think she saw me spiritually in a way that a lot of people fail. In that South Africans also kind of have been colonized in thinking about spirituality just in the Bungoma sense. And they've forgotten that umsebenzi wesandla is a real ancestral calling. And I think there's something that clicked in her when she saw my work. Because when I was trying to collect the clay and explain, I take out my phone, I'm like, hey man, and she sees the work and she's just like, hey brah. When we try and it's fine, and I mean, then the follow-up, I guess, guidance that I would receive from her in terms of things that I need to do to enhance my practice and my understanding of it as my own spiritual medium was what like the largest moment was, I was like, yeah, fuck. Thank God I love this camera. You know, because in a lot of instances, what I think is me being loyal to it is me actually coming to the spaces that are calling me for something far deeper. I arrive as a documenter and I leave as a healed patient. You know, you're just like, oh, okay, that's what's up. And my second moment, man, I guess Tobile touched on briefly, but on our first day here, first day we rested. Second day, had like a crazy drive to a place called Chiping. It was like 4 hours, if not more, like just on the road. And the constant thing I kept seeing were like these interesting brick ovens, you know. And I just kept saying in the car, I need a moment to stop and document these things, because I've been talking about this without any proof.
Is that what those things are?
Yeah, bro.
Down there.
Yeah, bro. Those are killed.
So they're bricks and then they have the wood inside it.
To cook. The actual
Is that
brick.
what the thing is?
What we're sitting inside of here is made from those bricks. I met the guy that made these bricks, that built this house. And I mean, for me, that was the biggest moment, is that like we really talk about natural building from this colonized, sanitized perspective, you know, where we have white people teaching us about co-op and all of these things. But it's just like, as I was driving, all I was seeing were just these ovens, bro. And for me, it's like, yes, on the one part, cooking bricks, but as someone that works with clay, it becomes an off-grid solution, you know, like to buy a kiln, you need nothing less than 50K for a proper large-sized thing where you can make any size of work. And I'm driving through a space where everyone makes this J for vibes. And I'm just like, yeah, and the moon, like as South Africans, we're really dumb. Like, we've lost really essential knowledge, and the homies have held on to it. But long story cut short, we're taking a walk with Tobile the other day down the road, and as we're standing there, we're looking at Gogo's one, the one that they used to fire to build this place. And I'm talking, I want to not slow hands. And as we look across, Haibo, there's an emerging one. And you see men on the ground, they're making the bricks, they're doing them like, we get there, bro. Man, such a warm welcome, you know. The homies share the knowledge of what they're doing, how they're doing it. They give us practical hands-on experience, workshopping this thing right there on the spot.
Suddenly making bricks.
Yeah. They've offered to give us or sell us a form to make bricks as well. And I mean, that was like, I guess, the small thing. They then invite us to their home, bro. And they give us like a pack of beans to plant. They give me imbeuze selwa. You know, calabash seeds. They cook us a meal that I've never. Bro, like, I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, charming banter that's happening. That.
How did you deal with the language?
Hey man, English is always a middle ground, but interestingly, not really. The other homie there speaks Shangaan, so I hear Shangaan. He learned Shangaan in South Africa because he speaks Shona. I hear Shangaan somewhat, and I'm answering. It's pity said, but it's this pity that shows that we've never had a problem understanding one another.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but we tattoo even. Jongan, baby, ba. How do you say goodbye? Yeah, and by ba Sarah Zoganaka. Yabo. And because I've already been told what Zoganaga means good, I'm like, it's the same thing as Usala Gashe. Do you understand? So at some point, your brain does the merger. And speaks Shona. So sometimes you see, but at some point you catch on, and I don't know the language, but there's a sense in which when you really listen with intention, it comes. So I think my second biggest moment was the fact that the kindness was not in the space where we were hosted. The kindness was everywhere because I worked into a stranger's home. I spent barely 20 minutes there. And leza zinto abangiphe zona ngeke ngizibambe zonke so ngezandla zami. Do you understand this, my brother? And do you understand how heartbreaking Gogo is? I'm crossing the border with non-GMO seeds that they've been saving from their grandparents. Like they're giving me a gift that deep, King. And I get to go home with that for my own family, for my own yours get. You understand? But chonga bakwenzeka ntoni? You know. So I really want to say, man, Utando is a real thing. You know, it's not pretentious. It's not because we are here sangoma ring. There was nothing sangoma about that conversation. It was just a weird-looking guy asking about bricks, and men my age and younger and older amused at the fact that I can't make bricks, but amused in a way that says this is so simple, as opposed to a wheelbarrow. You know, amused in a way that says, oh man, it's so with any kind, I'm busy. I'm like, yeah, so yeah. They're like, anything you have access to, you can make this thing. You can come build your house even there if you want. It's for Nelly, you know. And I'm just like, all in a 40-minute walk or some shit. All in just saying, just check out the vibes, you know. So it leaves me wondering what would have happened if I had more time to just you understand? Like, I feel like the love would be the same, and that's the thing, like Bhutan.
Overwhelmed.
That was your point earlier.
So at some point, one of the generators, the one that pumps water from the borehole, packed up, and now we have to figure out how to fix it. And the two people fixing it are from two different countries. One is from Botswana, the other one is from Zim, and there's a huge language barrier in trying to fix this generator.
Oh.
Yes. What is Spanish? I think it's a story in Siciliano, Mosiano.
Yeah. No.
It's all. Sorry, fella, cartel. Because you go busy, man. Hotel. Are you? You be good as you go. Oh, Fager. You got as a guy to age. You will not say why I was asking a regime there.
I mean, no. It was his own.
You own of a
own, yes. Own.
That was your point earlier.
I mean, I was afraid of telling my family that I'm coming to Zimbabwe. Because of everything that's happening in South Africa. And I was questioning myself, what does it mean to say to my mother, I'm going to a country where the people we are chasing away are here with us. And I want to go there where we are saying they must go.
Intentional.
Yes.
roundabout same dates.
I didn't know what I was going to say to her. But one thing that she said was, at least ubuye, which is a shared or mutual feeling that the women in this place feel with their children. To say, even if they are chasing you away, at least to fige, at least make it here, make it back home. So I was really scared. I think someone posted a video in the group where we saw our brothers and sisters running for their lives. And it was such a scary thing. But for some reason, I was like, that's where I'm going. I'm definitely going there. I want to see what it's like. I want to, if I get trapped, I get trapped, but I want to see what it's like to go there in this time. It was really scary. And every time a person would ask you, are you flying? Are you driving? But this time it wasn't a question of, oh, how long are you going to take? It was a, how are you going to travel where you're not going to get harmed in this whole thing? And I remember the first officer or constable that we saw after leaving the border wrote us a ticket. And I was just like, yeah, but every other constable we met at every 5 kilometer was just kind, was just loving. And I remember one asked and said, first he was very serious, you know? And then when we were just like, oh, yeah, guys, it's never ending. I was like, so how's Mzansi? And we were caught off guard so much that we just stared at him and burst into laughter. We couldn't believe this guy is asking us, how's Mzansi? You know, it's like he also can't believe that we are here. Yeah. But he more so can't believe that we're here at this time. Yeah. Where on a general day you could ask, how's Mzansi? Hey, my daughter's there, I want to come there. But he's asking out of curiosity, but also concern at the same time. Also wondering, why are you here? You know?
Do you remember the one who said, I forgive you guys? I understand that not everyone is like that. Do you remember that one?
So there's that anxiety and fear of, I'm walking into 1976, but I'm going anyways, you know? And as Muzanene has already shared the experience of, we didn't walk a kilometer away, but we were met with so much love and kindness, where someone could give you food for the next generation without thinking twice, you know? And it was the most incredible thing. We're speaking to Solomon's wife, who says, where are you from, South Africa? Like, Tembi. So I was like, yeah, my sister is there in Ghana. And I know exactly the place she's talking about, you know? And this guy is like, yeah, I know Mpumalanga, I work now. So he's telling us these places and he's like, I can come build your home. And for me, I walk away with that excitement where I'm like, I know my aunt has a Zimbabwean husband. I want to go to her and say, hey, I come from this particular place. I want to go see him and say, Makadi. You know, I walk away with the same excitement of wanting to say, I see you and I see where you come from. But yeah, lastly, another moment for me was after... So I fell asleep after we left the border for like many hours apparently. But when I wake up, there's a place where we stopped by and I just couldn't stop weeping. I felt and understood why those people come to our country. I saw it and I couldn't hold myself. I felt it beyond a border, beyond a language. But I felt it on a black person level, black person to black person, sister to sister, brother to brother. And I just asked myself, but why should we do things in such a way that divides us and separates us like this when we are in fact one person? But what I'm saying is it has been such a necessary and important experience that I walk away from changed for life. changed for life.
I had two moments. The first one was there's a second batch of people that arrived. Gatraga. Honale motho e mong, I think una tshwere diphahlo tsa hae tsa badimo ka Sara, like Sara, you know it.
What's a Sarasa?
Not Mashangan. Turn salam pufukara yon. Meat.
Oh,
Milli meal bag. And I'm sitting there. And I like I said, I'm really a fan of love. But I realized these people stopped everything that possibly matters to them and got onto a car. Seeing also the ways that they greet. Ugogo walked out. Adumelisa, each one of them. So used to Kobela, Badutika Dumbele, gods. And this lady walked and hugged people. Where possibly, if we're to hierarchical, I don't know if that's a word, hierarchize something. Maybe that, you understand? You understand? And the second one was when everyone was receiving Mabai. As again, thinking about love and how love trickles into generations. There's a grandmother who's going to go home with a bai who's going to tell a story of Tato, who comes from South Africa, and a grandchild who's going to hold that. And who's one day going to go into South Africa and say, my grandmother one day came home with a bai. Doesn't know Tato, doesn't know that we haven't slept for so many days. But because of this thing, because also these things are so small to us. I wept. There's a lady who came, Mulaga Koneng, and she knelt at Tokozisa, and I was like, bro, it's a bai, but you're conjuring so much gratitude. I think we're unaware how much we mean to each other. We're unaware of how much we actually were each other's. There's a poem that we're each other's magnitude and bond. We're unaware of how much being here. I was also looking at, because also it's very quick for us to create a poverty mentality, that there's a possibly mutemong atrasiteng le baileo and hana chelete. And they've been praying, and in that moment, that prayer was answered. I was thinking about Ugogo Tato and Heal the Healer. We go into people's spaces and we don't actually know what we are carrying, and the prayers that are being answered by just being there. There's possibly someone who's been here for 3 days, but they've been fed by being here. They've been fed. Someone how to like stress, how calculator, what's for breakfast, what's for lunch, just because of spirit work. So I think about, I was talking a lot about love in the car, and I think also when the people arrived, that's when Badimu Baide Batsoa, we're also here, we're also foreign. I love creating space for people to be fully themselves, because I think we fully deserve to blossom and thrive. But something moved me about Bombebana. Wholeheartedly. How now they cause hangata hangata meeting hona lebo maybe in South Africa or Lesotho ho tla botse ba re wa tseba o tlo fumana savannah. I'm sure ba tsebelotse na savannah e tla ba le teng. They're just here. So there were really lessons on love. Those ladies, those Khunubala in the corner there dancing, I was like, there's a story that's going to be told generations to come. Hore, le ba ile ke la nkgono wa ka o na ile ha go a khutla le lona. Nkgono wa ka hana rapela modimo ka Bibeleng ba re Elroy, the God who sees me. Modimo wa ka na rapela Elroy, modimo wa ka a mpona ngona apara le ba ile. Nkgono wa ka hana lighter kerese cause o bone modimo ha mo arabela. Ona apara tshwara ke sethunya ga lona apara le ba ile.
Busy.
You understand? Modimo wa ka hana kokota, modimo wa metsi le dikwena ba le di metsi a tlisa bophelo. You understand? How le thata ho omme ba ne ke modimo o phunyang le diba ona apara le ba ile, and there's a child. That memory is going to be ingrained, and that is the first relationship they have with God, with someone. And I was looking at her that you said something that so many lineages and so many histories have converged for us to all be here. We need to be more careful with each other. We need to be more loving. Masti kamaku mele kamakushe mele sponane. Masti salbona, but we are not seeing each other. Let's not say kamaku, but as we are not seeing each other.
I think all I want to say is it's so interesting that in all of this happening, I've probably met 3 dudes who all want my number and are telling me that they're going to come to South Africa. Like, it has not discouraged them. They know that it's not the end of the world, you know. And within all the hurt, they still are like, Rasta, I want to come there. I'll call you. Where do you live? I know Pretoria, Atteridgeville, you know. And for me, man, I think that has like really made my spirit feel light. That people are not saying, oh, you are from there. I'm never going there. People are like, we are having a misunderstanding. You know, we're siblings. Maraksas as open as Pagel, Genesis 1, we're gonna eat together. And yeah, man, that's been really encouraging.
I think I probably have 2 scaftings as takeaway to South Africa. But before I get onto these 2 scaftings, I want to say the first thing I couldn't wait to say to Mzwanele when I got here was, Coco's family is so supportive. I don't know how she does it when she has people who love her like this. And not just her family, but the people she keeps around her have so much light. I got here and I couldn't stop talking about how great our journey was. And I just remembered the importance of uthando, ubuntu nokuphilisana. And I just want to say thank you to Gogo's family, the healers in the room, and friends for your love, for your warmth, and for seeing me. That we came here to be received with so much love, but we came here with so much love already. And I just want to commend you. I haven't met most of you before this journey, but I want to commend you for the love and the holding of space that you're doing. Because I said to him, if I were ever to do something like this, I don't know who would show up for me. And so I was deeply touched. I was deeply, deeply touched by everyone. And the 2 takeaways would be, the only 2 ladies I could speak to here that understood me and I understood, told me they were studying. And I mean, part of the reasons why I wept when we got here and I was awakened to the situation, I was like, yo, people here are suffering. And sometimes we tend to make a spectacle of what is not going right. But it's like in the midst of the suffering, if there is, in the midst of none of these privileges that we have, the 2 ladies told me they were studying. Yeah, after I finish my course, I want to do this. And I was so shocked that someone in a village where there's no network is doing teaching. The others is learning to be a chef. I was extremely touched, and I just wished that South Africans could know that You can walk out to your library. There's a library, number one. Number two, there's Wi-Fi. But you are not taking the opportunity to study. But people here, no matter how expensive education is, they are studying. Number two is the family structure. The family structure is strong. The children have mothers and fathers here. Something we don't have in South Africa. And I just ask myself, how are they able to keep it going? Where I can't text you and say, sorry, I got delayed. Or I'm sorry, we couldn't talk today. Where we rely on seeing each other for communication. But the love is real, the love is there. The children here can point, that's my father, that's my mother. And I'm just like, I can't do that. And I can count, I've lost count of the number of families I saw in the space. And no matter how young a family was, but there was a mother, there was a father, and they were all so proud and say, this is my wife, these are my children. And what I noticed with most of the guys that were asking women out, were asking if they were married. They were not asking if, do you like me? I like you. When they look at a woman, they think of building a family. They think of making someone a wife, honoring them. And I think that is something I'm taking away to say, I'm going to go to South Africa and say, hey, Batuba Zimbabwe, Batuba Zimbabwe, Banali Melintate. We can learn so much from these people. And as much as we, in South Africa, we've stopped seeing the good in our brothers and sisters, there's so much that they can teach us about self-sustainability, about family, about education, and just mutual love and understanding.
To say that this has been a complex topic would be an insane understatement. To say that this trip has been a simple and straightforward one would be equally farcical. There is a great difficulty in reconciling the socio-economic, geopolitical issues and the spiritual and the metaphysical aspects of this topic. What is worse is that on the South African side of the topic, much of what we are complaining about is not necessarily statistical fact. I mean, official statistics don't match the people's sentiment, but people are functioning from a perspective of lived experience. People feel what they feel. But once you take out the borders, what you have is people moving from one place to another, looking for a better life. Once you put in borders, what you have is people becoming criminals, people becoming foreigners. Once you take out the borders, what you have is people moving from one place to another place in the same way that they have been doing for tens of thousands of years. I've been thinking about the questions that I wanted to ask the people here, but this village, the people in it, their experience is different from people who would be in urban areas in the same country, in Zimbabwe. Their experiences would differ from people in Mozambique. Their experiences would differ from people from Malawi, from Uganda, from Zambia. Black people, Black African people are not a monolith. We are not a faceless horde of neediness. And the attempt to try to group them as one body that represents a particular danger to these colonial borders that have been thrust upon us it's disingenuous. It's facetious in some ways. This is not in any way to deny the harm that our porous borders have brought onto us, be it with service delivery, crime, and all of those things. But we've fallen way too deep in our protection of ourselves. Every country has the right to defend its sovereignty, and every country has the right to enforce its laws. But the laws that we're enforcing are not going to outlive us. I think this trip for me has been about remembering, not necessarily remembering the past, but remembering the self that exists beyond the borders. Remembering that in more ways than we can count, we are interconnected, that our lineage is intertwined across these superficial borders. My hope is that in all that has been happening, that it has not planted a seed of self-importance, that our descendants will look back and in one way or another understand and not question us the way we question our predecessors, to say, why didn't you do this or why did you do that? I would like to thank Kokotato. I'd like to thank Heal the Healer, Palisa, Tsebo, Rez, Tobile, Shares, Malume Tsepiso, Malume Sipho, Malume Tsepo, Kiki, Mazimba, Mvula, and Ukoko, and the entire village, and the spirit that welcomed us and carried us, and every single person who held space for us, even though we were strangers. And I'd like to thank you for taking the time to listen and to walk this journey with me. My name is Vusomze Ngande. Thank you for joining me on this episode of The Journey Kwantu. I wish you light, I wish you courage, and I wish you all the very best on your journey. Makwande.